Here are 30 tips and tricks about Valheim you can use to make your journey easier. If you just kill the deer, don't run to their corpse. They can spawn in groups, so stay silent and keep crouching, because there is a chance that other deer may be close to them. You actually don't get the wet debuff while standing in water, as long as your waist is above the surface. Use this and the button E to grab items in the distance without getting wet. A good way to not get lost in dungeons is to always follow the left or the right side. This will take you through the dungeon eventually. For example, as you can see here, I just keep following the left side. And I eventually end up where I began. Use the troll's attacks to bait him into smashing the environment. You can gather wood fast this way and also break copper ores. You can roll in the game and it's very beneficial. To roll, use the block and the jump button together. If it is timed well, you will take no damage at all from enemy hits. It doesn't even matter if you roll into their attacks. And you don't even need a shield equipped to do this. To kill the first boss, 8 tier, always wait for his attacks. He will always wait a few seconds between each of his attacks. The tip here is that you can safely hit him after an attack because he won't retaliate. You can parry in the game, which is even better with a small shield equipped. Just before the enemy hits you, you have to quickly raise your shield to defend yourself. This will stun them for a short time and you will deal extra damage. You can hit 2 or even 3 resources at the same time if you find the right area between them. This works on trees and on ores too. If you can't hit a fallen log normally, try using the axe's special attack. This will easily hit logs that are too low for your normal swing. You can hold down the button E to harvest items. This makes farming easier. Then you just have to aim at the plants you want to harvest. During night, the monsters that spawn can be different and stronger than those during daytime. So if a biome is too hard for you yet, don't visit during the night, but wait for the morning. Sleeping in this game is very useful. It actually speeds up time, which means speeding up the production of smelters, furnaces, fermenters and crops. If you are digging holes, always hit the ground from the lowest point possible, because this will level the terrain to that point. So you only have to dig down once and then you can expand in all directions. So I don't know why, but you deal more damage to ores when you hit them from the top. If you hit them from the sides, you deal less damage. If you leave food on fire for too long, it will turn into coal. Simple as that. When you break a kiln or a smelter, you get back 100% of the original building materials. This means if you don't have enough surtling cores to make both, you can first craft a kiln for coal, then dismantle it and use the surtling cores for building a smelter. Workbenches will stop enemies from respawning in their zone. Make sure to build some around your base so you get a larger safe zone. If you hit an enemy and see a grey number, it means that the monster is resistant to your attack. If you see a yellow number though, it means it is weak against it and you can do more damage. If you want to kill a serpent, first lure it to a shore, because the scales and trophy it drops sink to the bottom of the water. You can lure him easier with a harpoon, but you need kitten for that. Speaking of water, if you can't reach your item in the water, try raising the ground with a hoe. This requires stones in your inventory. Wait a bit and the item will just pop out. Ships have 3 levels of speed which you can control. When your ship faces the wind, you cannot go forward on speed 2 or speed 3, as you can see here. You need to reduce your speed to level 1 to move at all. When you die, All your items will be dropped, but will be stored in a gravestone. You can take your time getting it back, as it won't despawn until you looted everything. Do not destroy berry bushes, because right now you cannot replant them. Instead, mark them on your map and return later for more berries. When you chop down a tree, it will likely fall to the direction you are looking. Use this to clear forests easily by letting the trees fall onto each other. You can even break birch trees early on with this method. You need a roof over a workbench to use it, but you actually don't need roof above it to repair built structures or even ships. You can also build without a roof. To get feathers, either kill birds with a bow or cut down trees. You want to look out for beech or fir trees. If you hover over a building piece, it will glow blue if it's grounded. Grounded basically means that the piece is the strongest support structure. Notice that if you place wood on a stone piece, it will always be blue. Therefore, you can make tall structures with combining stone and wood. Monsters cannot damage the terrain. This means you can make pillars or walls with a hoe and use it to your advantage. You actually cannot die of starvation, but with no food, your health and stamina pool will be very small. And the final piece of advice I can give you today is that if you can't place a campfire, it's because you are trying to place it on some wooden structure. These can only be placed on the terrain or on stones. Before saying goodbye, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope I could teach you something new. If you are already an experienced player, feel free to share in the comments what extra tips you may have for new players. See you very soon with another video. Peace.